Lions TV, this is your Thursday club video. We're going to look back at last night's 2-0 defeat against Leeds at Elland Road and ahead to the final game before the international break against Stoke City, a 12:30 kickoff on Saturday in SE16. But as always, let's wind it back to last night and take a look at the 11 that Alex Neil picked to start the match. And so the gaffer went with 4 changes from the team that beat Watford last Saturday. Did he make the right selections? I'm not so sure, but hindsight's a wonderful thing. I think he went as close to the team he played last time out as Leeds as he possibly could. It was Lucas Jensen in goal. That was one of the changes, of course, from Liam Roberts last time out at Leeds. Wes Harding come back in at right back. It was Joe Bryan left back. Jaff and Coops, the central defence pairing. Savs and Denor in central midfield. Luke Cundle in a 10. George Honeyman on the right. Femi Aziz on the left. And up front as a lone striker, the big Garlic and Herb. Look, hindsight, as I said, is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Would that have been the team that I would have gone with? No. The team that I would have gone with would have been a lot closer to the team we had on the pitch towards the end of the game. George Honeyman had to limp off after 20 or so minutes, and Billy Mitchell came on, pushing Cundle wide, and I feel that we just looked a lot better in that compact central. I think it gives us more of a core, more of a unit as a team in the central midfield. And we've got 3 out-and-out central midfielders. The 10, I'm starting to feel, isn't really working for us at all. And we haven't really cracked that nut, have we, since Zian Fleming left the club, although he wasn't great in his second season with us either. This 10 is, maybe it's a bit too much of a luxury for Millwall. And if you're not going to play the right 10, in my mind, which will probably be Femi Aziz or Bangura Williams, I don't feel we're going to be that adventurous, although I hope we will be at home on Saturday against Stoke. So getting into the game, I'm sure any manager's team talk 90% or 100% of the time going away from home against the team top of the table would be nothing stupid in the opening minutes. And I felt we started the game quite well. We was quite intense. We looked like we was up for it. We was knocking the ball back quite nicely. And then a catalogue of errors leads to us scoring, I think, our 4th own goal in about 7-8 weeks. Something like that, 4 or 5 own goals, actually, in fact. Yeah, and it's not good. And I'll get onto the goalkeeper in a minute, but and he should have saved it. I don't know what he was doing. His positioning was all over the place. However, it comes from Casper Denor losing the ball. He then works very hard to get it back, and he sort of stabs it through towards the goal line, which you feel is, okay, he's done enough there. That's going to go out for a corner. And I thought Solomon on his weak foot was going to let it run out for a corner, but he decides to keep it in, and he sort of puts a flat-footed side foot that's not going anywhere back across. Cooper goes out to jockey him. That's fair enough. And it takes a slight nick off Coops. And as I said, it is, 2 or 3 things that have gone wrong to get us to that point. But the goalkeeper just comes off his line, completely misreads it, goes walkabout, and it's almost a Jordan Archer against Sunderland years ago, where the ball comes in and it's just going to go over Jordan Archer's head and out for a goal kick, where Jordan Archer jumps up and actively pushes the ball into the goal at Sunderland away, if you remember that goal. And Jensen's done the same. If he just doesn't touch it, Joe Bryan probably clears it behind him. Or if he just stands on his line, he just picks the ball up. And as much as I keep backing Jensen, I think we're all in agreement that Roberts is the better goalkeeper by far. But I don't know, what he's got to do to get in the team. Of course, he's currently suspended, so he can't play anyway. But it's powder puff. It's really poor. It's bad defending from us, which I'm starting to see creeping in a little bit more recently. And as much as we never always scored a lot of goals, we was very solid at the back, and I'm seeing a few individual errors, a few comical errors at times, and it's a really poor goal to concede against team top of league. Your team talk for Alex Neil is probably out the window at that point, and it's really poor. They follow up after that, Leeds, where they have another shot straight at Jensen again, and he sort of just literally palms it wide. His confidence definitely seems to be shot. And look, he's won us, make no mistake, he's won us 2 points on Saturday with that save at Watford. It's a brilliant save. It's right behind him. He gets up, but you have to be consistent as a goalkeeper. I've said it a million times before. You need consistency from your goalkeeper, and I don't feel that he's breeding confidence through into his defenders at the minute, and that might be why we're scoring all these fucking own goals. Is the keeper going to come? Is he not going to come? And then people making decisions, based on that thought process, and then we concede. Other than that, in the first half, I'll be honest, right? There was a massive build-up to this game. And do you know what? I've always, on this channel, I've always got a lot of love from Leeds fans, which I appreciate. And I always call it straight. I can't believe how badly it's affected them the stuff that we put out. I mean, look at the post at full time from the Leeds official Twitter. And I thought they was going to be up for it more in the game because of that, because of the FA Cup win, because we had a pop first, make no mistake, on social media, and now they've come back with that, which is fair enough. I think it's all funny and brilliant. Some people get so wound up. But if you look on our club's Twitter feed, our post, Millwall FA Cup finalists, Femi Aziz, Joy Division, is he going to play Joy Division? I actually think it's funny how badly that's affected Leeds fans. And I expected it, but maybe not to that extent. But I expected their team to be more up for it than they was. And it's not the Leeds team. No disrespect, they've done what they needed to do. They win the game 2-0. It's not the Leeds, the intensity, the quality that they had in previous years under Bielsa when he was there. Because I remember one year they beat us 3-2 up there, and they were sensational in the second half. I didn't really feel that they was at that level last night, and maybe they might argue they didn't need to be. But I can't believe how badly they've been affected by the comments. It's obviously been playing on their mind for a good few weeks. They got their revenge last night, however. One for them in the league, one for us in the league, and our reserves beat their reserves in the cup. So it is what it is. But yeah, on that basis, I don't feel. I think I'll be honest. I mean, I spoke to a lot of people yesterday before the game, and people were saying, "Oh, we're going to lose. We're going to, we need to be careful here because they're going to be up for it, and we could get absolutely tanked." I didn't really feel that happened, other than those two instances I've said, the own goal and the powder puff one that he palms wide. They actually show what they can do, Leeds, at one point. They put together a really, really good team move, and Peru finishes it very, very well. But it was offside by an arse cheek, and that's football in this day and age, unfortunately. But other than that, we haven't tested their goalkeeper all night. And I felt, and Pete and the other Omar said it in their video, and a few boys said it on the group chat, but before I even saw any of that, I said exactly the same in the live stream. I just felt that it was sort of there. I thought we played well defensively. I thought we played well flying into tackles and on organisation, barring that one mistake from the goalkeeper, which is an individual error. I felt we was in the game possession-wise, but it's that final third. And I started saying this in a video the other day, and when I watched it back to edit it, I sort of started talking about it and fucking went off on some mad tangent, started talking about something completely different, which can happen with me. What I was going to say in that video, and what I'm going to get to now, is it's the final third where it breaks down. And we don't ever seem to have, and I might be being harsh on us here because Leeds are top of the league for a reason, we don't ever seem to have a sustained period of pressure in another team's half, ever, regardless of who we play. We don't camp in there after and batter them for 15, 20 minutes. We might break away and have one chance here or there. But there's just a massive issue with us in the final third. And when Alex Neil first took over, I think he rectified that. Bangura Williams coming through the middle, and I started saying we started playing through the middle more. And he put the ball into Ivanovic, who scores at Luton. He done it getting at Pompey. He's getting little triangles, players getting beyond them, little pockets in between centre backs and full backs. And all of a sudden now we seem to have stopped doing it. I don't know if it's a confidence thing. Again, I don't know whether I'm getting a bit too deep on our team because we did play Leeds, and as I said, they are top of the league and they probably will win the league. And fair play to them, they're the best team in the division, and they are where they are for a reason. But I just feel that as well as we did structurally and competing and firing into people and doing what we could, in the final third we didn't do that. And it just seemed to break down, and we didn't seem like we wanted to get forward. There was a massive detachment amongst all the players. They did double up on Femi Aziz, so they obviously marked him as the danger man and marked him out of the game in the process. The only chances we did have, Femi Aziz puts one across the box. No one's in the middle. It's a really good ball across the 6-yard box. Ivanovic was at the front post. That's where you want your 10 coming in, which was Kundal. I think by that point he'd gone over to the right-hand side. I don't know. It could be a time for a change of structure, but I'll get onto that in a minute when I cover the Stoke game. But the opportunities we're going to have to take at teams like Leeds, unfortunately, whether we want to admit it or not, is set pieces. And we get one right on half-time. Sav floats one up. Cooper meets it, free-header. In games like that and times like that, we have to have more quality. And Cooper's got to hit the target, but he doesn't. And then that's it for half-time. Coming into the second half, Leeds definitely did up the tempo, and they did definitely control the game a lot more and spent long periods in our half again without really testing Jensen, which was fortunate for us, really, because I think not many people has got a lot of confidence in Jensen in a minute, but I can't really remember. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I watched Cheltenham yesterday, and I was near on 2 bottles deep of red by the time the game finished. I can't really remember I can remember it, but too many points, and I'm saying I might be wrong, let me know in the comments, but I can't really remember a great deal of opportunities that Leeds had in the second half, although they did dominate possession, and we just didn't look at any point like we was interested in getting up the pitch. And then the longer it went, I'm thinking, all right, he's going to wait till the last 10 minutes and try and nick something. Subs came on. but they just seem like a load of individuals, in my opinion. And Leeds eventually get the second goal. I think Solomon scored it. Little curler from a cutback from an angle, runs across the box and curls it away from Jensen. That's what I'm going with. It's a bit blurry, that one. But look, that was literally 3 minutes from the end. And it was, I don't know whether the players were expecting it. I was expecting it as a fan. I think a few people were. You know, as I said earlier on in the show, I think a lot of people was expecting a lot heavier defeat, which is maybe an injustice to us. But I felt that after the game, I was like, oh yeah, we lost 2-0. I was expecting that. And that's pretty much, I'd say now, probably going to be our playoff hopes, our slim playoff hopes done. We're not going to go down. We're probably not, well, we're not going to go up. So let's try and have a reassess and a refocus. What I will say is, when you look at our lineup last night, you know, Ivanovic, Aziz, Kundal, not so much Honeyman, but for example, when Amaku came on, if you look at that front four, there alone, there's not a player over 23, 24 years old. So it's definitely, you know, positives to come out from that. And I think looking forward to next season now, that's what we've got to look at. We want to finish respectable. We want to keep going and get some victories under our belt. And the playoffs, mathematically, isn't out of our reach. I think we're 9 points off it and about 13 off the relegation zone, I believe, just off the top of my head. But it is what it is, at least. Maybe we shouldn't be saying that, but I felt it. I know a lot of people, Diggs, have spoke to them during the day, and obviously I think the players did as well, because did we show Leeds too much respect? Did we not test them enough? We definitely didn't test them enough in the final third, because we didn't create one fucking opportunity at goal. But let's wipe the slate clean, leave it there, and move on to Saturday's game at the Den against Stoke City. Managed by Mark Robbins, he has taken on the job of the Poison Chalice at Stoke City. Of course, he did very well for Coventry for a few years, and he was unfairly dismissed according to a lot of their fan base. But he's taken the job at Stoke, and he's been struggling because Stoke have only won one, drawn one, and lost 3 of their previous 5 league games. Of course, he went back to face his old club. He got them back from 2-0 down to 2-2 at the Ricoh Arena, but Coventry went on to score again and win the game in the 97th minute. However, the one game they have won of their last 5 was last night, or Tuesday night, I think it was, a 1-0 win at home at the Bet365 against Blackburn. It currently sees Stoke 19th in the table, 6 places behind us and 9 points. They need to pull away if they can from that drop zone, like you can see. They're 4 points above Derby, who currently occupy the highest of the relegation places. And looking up at the top end of the table, a win for us could see us go 11th, depending on other results, and close that gap potentially to 5 points again. I haven't covered what I think the gaffer will do for us. That's because I did the Leeds post and then went straight into this. I've just realised as I'm filming, look, it's still there potentially, the playoffs, but I think it's going to be a push, especially with the away games we've got coming up at Sheffield United, Burnley, Blackburn. You know, it's some very difficult games in there, and some very winnable ones at home as well. But I think maybe now it's time to start looking towards next season. I wouldn't be opposed to him trying to switch the formation up, going 3 at the back with wing backs. I think that's the way he'll probably want to go eventually at some point next season. And I don't feel he's been able to do it too much this season. I think he did it for 1 or 2 games, but he's still experimenting. He's still early on in his Millwall managerial tenure. But what I'll say is this is the team that I would go with tomorrow night. Jensen in goal, then I'll stick with the back 4 as they were. I'll probably take Jensen out, to be fair, if I could, but you can't. Then I'll go Saville and Denor in central midfield. Then I'll stick Bangura Williams in a 10, and then I'll go with Connolly on one side, Amaku on the other, and up front I'd go with Josh Coburn. Few reasons there. Honeyman and Aziz both limped off in the game against Leeds. Honeyman groin, Aziz apparently hamstring, which is a reoccurrence of the injury he got a couple of weeks ago, and was why he didn't start at Watford. So I can't see Aziz being fit. Bangura Williams is one for me that, and someone said this on my YouTube comments, and it's very, very true. He links up really well with Ivanovic. And I haven't put Ivanovic in, I'll get to that in a minute. But Bangura Williams for me is an out-and-out 10. He can't play on the wing. I've covered that before in previous videos. And Connolly, really, I suppose you have to bring Connolly in out wide, or even potentially play Connolly as a second striker. I love the Serb, and last night he did not get an absolute sniff, and that was not his fault at all, because he didn't get any service. And if the ball's going like this, we need to make it stick. And in that instance, like I've covered before, I think Coburn is the better fit. Although I absolutely love the Serbs to death, and I know everyone else does, but we don't create enough chances at the minute for the Serb, and I don't think it's going to hold him in good stead with his confidence going forward. Let's try and get it sorted elsewhere. But for now, I mean, look, to be fair, if Aziz was fit, I would go Bangura Williams, Aziz and Amaku in behind the Serb, and I'll absolutely go for the juggler of Stoke. But I'm not sure if Alex Neil will do that. Of course, he managed Stoke as well. That's just popped in to my head. But yeah, I'm not sure if he'll do that. He can't play Honeyman, I don't think, now wide. So I think he'll probably bring Connolly in, as Honeyman's looking like he's going to be injured. But regardless of what formation and what team he goes with, I feel he needs to up the ante on Saturday. We need to go for the juggler of Stoke. We need to get out there early, go attacking. You've got nothing to lose now. You may as well. And really try and sustain an amount of pressure in the final third of the pitch. Create a few chances, make the fucking goalkeeper make a few saves. God forbid. We was doing that a little while back under Alex Neil. I'm trying to think of the game it was where Saville hit the post and their goalkeeper made another really good save. Aziz flashed one just wide and was going in at half time having created 3-4 chances, which is good. It's not like us. But now we're slipping back into that, not getting near the other team's goal, and it's not good enough. It's not for me. Let's move on to a prediction. And so this is your pre-match prediction, and here we go. I am going to go for a 2-1 Millwall win. I'm going to go for them to take a lead and us be a bit shaky, but eventually us to turn the wheel with Coburn. And I'm going to go for Joe Bryan for a change, up from the back to score a goal and a 2-1 win. I did predict a 2-0 loss against Leeds. Unfortunately, I didn't back it. Of course I didn't. But I did get that right. And I've not been far off lately, or pretty much bang on in my preview. So I think we'll beat Stoke Saturday and go into the international break off the back of 3 points in SE16. And so that's your lot for this Thursday Club video. I hope that you have enjoyed it. All that's left for me to say is I'll see you in beautiful South Bermondsey on Saturday. If you're going, don't forget it's a 12:30 kickoff. Please subscribe to Lions TV. Come on, you Lions.